Hello, hope you're doing well. Let's continue making our app Balls and Paddle. So far, we have done lots of things. Let me go through very quickly. You can see so far we have designed our balls, and these balls, there are 5 balls. All balls are invisible. You can make it visible, but we have made it invisible. We will do it through the coding. So like we do have 5 balls in a row. All the balls are currently invisible. Let me make this also. And we do have a paddle on the bottom. And you know all about the games now. The balls will pop up, it will fall, and through the paddle, we have to stop the ball. The paddle was moving with the help of accelerometer. And this much we have done. Let me show you coding as well, what we have done so far. You can see in this coding block, we have written the code for when a screen initializes. So whenever a screen initializes, we have set the speed of each ball and we have set the location for each ball initially, where the ball should be. Okay, this is what we have fixed. As well as we have we have fixed for the ball location for the balls. And the second event block is when accelerometer sensor 1 dot acceleration changed. Means whenever you change the acceleration of your phone, your paddle will move according to the direction in which you tilt your phone. So if you tilt your phone to left, your paddle will go to left, and vice versa. And the third block was regarding your balls, which will pop up in the screen and it will fall. So that event is taken care by the clock sensor or the clock event. So after every 500 milliseconds, one ball is popping up in the screen randomly and it's falling down. So this is what we have done so far. Now we will add some more features to our app, and this is important because I wanted to make, or we wanted to make, a professional gaming app, just like gaming app, just like so it can look like a professional. So we will add some features to it. First, we will make changes in the design. So in the design, we will add few more buttons. 3 buttons we will add, and one label. Buttons just like a start button, play button, and pause button, and one label which will show the score. So I think this is important, which will control our app. Okay, sometime you wanted to pause your game, we can do that. So this feature we will give it to our app today. So let's designing those buttons. It will be done quickly, and then we will jump to the code. So in order to have these all buttons in a row, you wanted to arrange these all buttons in a row: start button, play button, and pause button, and one a display, I mean your score. To keep this in a row, we need a layout. So I will drag horizontal layout. Okay, and the horizontal layout, width, height we will change first. Height I will say about 50 pixels. Yeah, that is fine. 50 pixels is fine. And its width I will say fill parent. And now inside this horizontal arrangement, we are going to put all those buttons that we need. So whenever we'll drop the buttons here, they will arrange themselves in a row horizontally. So this is the use of horizontal arrangement. Instead of horizontal, if you would have chosen vertical arrangement, all the buttons will be arranged vertically. That is automatic. So that's the use of horizontal arrangement here. Let's drag all those buttons. We will go to user interface and see there are button. So there is one button, and then the second one. Okay, so we will use 3 buttons and one label. Okay, the buttons are there to control the game, and label is to see the score. So to display the score. Let's rename all those buttons. Button 1, I will call it as start button. A start button. Okay, this is what we will call a start button. And button 2, I will call it as pause button. Okay, so pause button. So whenever you press this button, pause, your game will get paused, will be halted for a while. Okay, and then next, after playing, you want it to start as well. Okay, so when if after pausing your game, you wanted to play back, so that is why we wanted play button. Okay. Hmm. So now we do have these buttons, start and pause, play, and there is a label. We change the name, this label, to score, because I wanted to display a score in this label. Okay. Now, few more changes we will make to this start button. If you click start button, we will change its background color, because it's a start, we will make it green. Okay. And the font, let it be bold. As well as height, we will change, we will say fill parent. And width, I will say to take 25%, as we do have four components here. So if I share the width to 25% to each, the complete width of this horizontal arrangement we will take, and will be of equal size, will look nice. Okay, so let me change the text size also. We can increase, we can make it 25, even we can make 25. So you can see the text on the button has increased. I will write the text on it, start, because this is our start button. Whenever you click this, your game will start, and if you click it once more, the game will restart. So your score, I will tell you the difference between start and play. So whenever you click start buttons, everything will get refreshed and your game will start from beginning. But when you click the play button, your game is not going to start from beginning, but it will start from where it had left. So that's the difference between start and play that we will use. Next button is pause button. So pause button, we will change color, and we will make it red. So it will pause your game. Okay. Now let's make it font size, as well as font size 25, and height, I will say fill parent, and width will take 25%. That's fine. And now you can see we have text that is written on it. We will change and we'll make it pause, as this is our pause button. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Likewise, we can change for the third button, and third button color, this is play, so I will use yellow. Okay, let it be yellow. Yeah, it looks nice. And font size, we'll use 25. Height, I will say fill parent, and width, I'll say 25%. That's fine. The text that is written on it, we will change to play. Okay, play. And the last but not least, we have the label, which will display the score. And we will not give any kind of background color to it. You can give, let's give a background color, it looks nice. So in order to give a score, we want something like blue. Yeah, let it be blue. And in font size 25. Okay, as well as height, I will say fill parent, and width, I will say 25%. Here one new changes I will make, that is its text color. So text color I will keep white. So the text whatever will be displayed in white in color, not in black in color. And for timing, I think it will be difficult then. So let it be in the blue or some other color. Let it be red in color, something. Yeah, does it looks nice? No, let it be black then. So let's change the color to black. Yeah, and remove the text written on the label, because we will not display this text, but we will display a score on it. On the last one, we will display a score. So there is nothing. The score will be visible when you will start playing your game. So that's fine. We have designed our app. We have added these four buttons, which has increased the functionality in your game. like start, pause, play, and then score. Now let's go ahead and give the final touch to your game. You will find very interesting blocks coming ahead, and you will have a lots of learning facts here. So as you can see, we can write the blocks of code anywhere. I'm just going to add one more block here. Dear children, I would have told you that MIT App Inventor programming is event based programming. So we need to create event. A different event will make the things happen differently, and it could have many event. Let's create one event, one more event, and that is what will happen when your ball will hit the paddle. Because what is happening so far, your balls are popping up in the sky, it is falling down, and you are moving the paddle. And now if your ball is touching the pedal, nothing is happening. But now we want that whenever ball will touch the pedal, then what should happen is the ball, it should get vanish. It's after touching, after the ball will touch the pedal, the first thing I want that it should play a sound. And after playing the sound, the ball which will hit the pedal will get invisible, and it should start again from the top, from where it had gone. And and then you want a score also, because you have saved that ball from falling below, so falling to bottom. So you will get a score, a sound will be played, and the ball will become invisible. So these three things we wanted that should happen whenever ball one will collide. So let's add. To do this, we will go to ball one, and we will drag this event called ball1.collide. So when ball1.collide with, this is one other event that we are making. And we want that whenever ball one will collide with image sprite one. So we have to give condition so that it can find which image you wanted to collide it with. So we will go to the control, and we will drag this block if. Okay, if block we will drag. Okay, so let's drag if block. If, then what should happen? Yeah, and inside the if we will give condition. To give condition, we need to have a condition math block. So this is what, and we will say that if other is equal to, if other is equal to image sprite one. You can see here, if the ball one dot collides with other, we have to tell what other is we are talking about. So other, we will write if other equal to image sprite one. So to find image sprite one, we will go to image sprite one, that is paddle, and we will take that paddle, and we will write here if ball one is colliding with paddle, then what to do? First of all, you make sound. So how to make sound? We see we have not added any sound components. So to add it, we need to go back to the designer, and then go to the, I think, media, and there we will find designer. So let's do it. And where it is, we'll go in the media, and we will find a sound. Yeah, this component, sound component, and you can find a source. So the source, we need to upload the source. You can see I've clicked on sound, and now you need to tell the file which will play. You need to upload the file, sound file. So let me upload the file. I will share with you this sound as well as the image. Let me share this with you. Okay, this is here. Just give me a second. Yeah, this is. So we have now I have uploaded the sound. This is the same sound that we use in balloon pop game. Okay. Yeah, that's done. It's added, and now let's go back to the block and make it happen. We wanted that whenever ball one will collide with paddle, first sound it should come out, that sound, so that we can find out, yeah, something has collided with paddle. So let's play sound. We will do that call sound1 dot play. This is what we will do. Okay, and now after playing the sound, we want something else also should happen, because we want multiple thing at the same event. We want that the ball which has been collided should get invisible. So we are talking about the ball one. So we will go to ball one and we will say that ball one dot visible, let's make it invisible first of all. So to make it invisible, we will go to this block, and here we will choose ball1 dot visible, and we will make it false. So whenever you make it false, your ball is going to become invisible. Okay, and after making it invisible, we wanted to send this ball back to its previous location, from where it has started. So for this, what we are going to do, we are going to set its location. Okay, so in order to set its previous location, you can see where the ball one was this, its x and y is given here. So similarly, we will select its x and y, we'll copy, we'll make duplicate of it, these two block, and this is ball one x and ball one y. So let's keep this ball one x and ball one to y, and we will give this location. That what do you do, as soon as you collide with the paddle, you make sound, get invisible, and then you go back to this place where you had come from. So randomly, x-axis will be fixed 32 pixels, but y-axis randomly computer will select its location. This is done. So this is what we have done for ball one, that when ball one collides with a paddle, then what happens. Likewise, we just copy it and make duplicate, and this time you add it for ball 2. So what happens when ball 2 collides with paddle? So whenever ball 2 will collides with paddle, of course we wanted that sound should be played, and after playing you wanted ball 2 to become invisible, and you wanted to send ball 2 back also to its original place. So let me see where the ball 2 had started. Ball 2 location was 202. So ball 2 was at 202. Its x location was 202, and y will be randomly selected by the computer. Likewise, ball 3. Let's do with ball 3. Okay, let's do with ball 3. Yeah. So similarly, you can do with all the balls. Ball 3, only we need to change the name from ball 2 to ball 3 and its location. Okay, its location is also important to change. Let me see its x location where it was. Initially we had given x3, y. Its location was ball 3, 361. This is where 361 it was. So we have to give 361. So let's give 361. Okay, and now ball 3 is done. Likewise, let's do quickly for ball 4, and this is for the ball 4. We are making the change for ball 4 also. If you miss even single thing, your app will may not work properly. Ball 4 is at location 507. 507. Okay, so 507 ball 4. We need to change ball 3 to ball 4 also. So he is at 507. We are changing only, we are fixing its x-axis only. Y-axis will be selected so randomly by the computer. So the ball location will be completely random according to the computer. And likewise, we are doing for ball 5. And I'm also saying this. Oh shit, there is no control Z option. Yeah, it is there. So we will drag this and we will say this time ball 5. What happens if the ball 5 will collide with paddle? Whenever it collides with paddle, first it will make sound, and then it will become invisible, and then randomly it will be placed on the top so that it can visible again, and we can we can again play with the paddle. Ball 5 is 628. So ball 5 is 628. Okay, that's done. Did you see that how quickly we have added one more feature to our app? This was that what happens when your ball is going to collide with pedal. Then what happened? Your ball is going to become invisible, and you will after that making becoming invisible, it will go back to initial location, and you will hear a sound. Now, one more feature that we wanted to add: what happens if you have missed the ball? If you miss the ball, you are unable to stop the ball with your pedal, then what will happen? The ball will fall down and it will reach the edge, bottom edge. So now we have to tell the computer or to the app that what to do if the ball touches the edge. Then what should happen? This is what we want, right? So in that case, there could be two things. Either you can decrease the score or you can increase the score, depends on you. Let me quickly show you one of the possible option, and I think that is easy also. Likewise, we will go to ball 1, and we will create another event. I will say another event, and that is when ball 1 dot as reached. So whenever the ball will reach the edge, I think we are talking about the bottom edge, right? So whenever your ball will reach the edge, bottom edge, what will happen? You want that ball should get vanished, and it should go in the top again from where it was started. So to do so, what we are going to do, simply I'll use it, but for timing I'm going to copy this. Let me make duplicate. Yeah, and I will place this here. Okay, that is fine. You can see. So what I did, when ball 1 dot as reached, what happens whenever ball will reach the edge? We are writing for ball 3. Let's write for ball 3. I'll write for ball 1 also, don't worry. So whenever suppose ball 3 has reached the edge, bottom edge, because you missed it with the paddle, you are unable to stop it. So as soon as it reaches the edge, it will become invisible, and it will go back to its initial location where it was started. You know how fantastic, this is. So let's make duplicate of it, and let's write on for ball 1 also. So if it is for ball 1, we need to change all this ball. Okay, ball 1 and ball 1, ball 1. And remember its location, initial location also we are supposed to change. And ball 1 was at which place? Just let me see quickly. Ball 1 was 32, so its x-axis was 32. So here we need to write 32. This much changes only we have to make. And let's write quickly for the another also. So ball 3 is done, ball 1 is done. Let's write for ball 2. So in case if your ball 2 has reached the edge and you are unable to stop the ball 2 with the paddle, so the ball 2 will become invisible, and the ball 2 will reach with their x-axis and at random places in y-axis. So let me see, the ball 2 x-axis was here, so we can make the right fix here. Ball 2, I think it was 202. Okay, so ball 2, it was 202, right? Likewise, we have written for ball 3, but we need to write for ball 4. Let me make duplicate and quickly write for ball 4. So in case of ball 4, if the ball 4 is touching the edge, what should happen? When ball 4 is touching the edge and you miss the ball 4, you are unable to stop with the pedal. In that case, your ball 4 will become invisible as soon as it touches the edge, and it will go back to the top location so that it can fall back again. And now ball 4 location, let me check so that we can change its place. 507. Yeah, 507. So its x-axis was 507. That's fine. We are left with the last ball, and we have to program all also. So last ball, we will say if the ball 5 reaches edge, then what to do? Let it become invisible. Okay, and let it start from the top again. So we have to give its initial final location also, and I think that is 628. Okay, so that is 628. That's done. Do you see? So many blocks are there. If I minimize, I could show you there are so many blocks that we did. So many blocks are there. Let me zoom it also. Don't worry, there are going to be number of blocks, but for you all, it is easy, quite easy, I hope so. Now let's give one more feature. So far we have done with the ball. If the ball will touch the paddle, what happens is the ball touches edge, what happens. But so far we have not worked on a score. We have not shown or displayed a score also. So let's work to this part. And in this part I'll tell you, if you um, we will tell the computer that if ball is touching the paddle, then give me a score. So to give the score, or to add the score, to keep a score, we need a variable. You might have heard about the scorer. A scorer, he do whenever there is someone, a scorer, who keep a score, that's called a scorekeeper. He used to have a pen or copy, and he used to write manually. But here this is all about software, or about the computer. So they need to store those numbers. To do so, we will have a variable. We will create a variable, and we will initialize a global variable. Okay, and we will give a name to this global variable as score. So that it will it will store the score that I will get while playing the game. And we will initialize this score with 0, because initially, as soon we have started game, we have not got any score, so it will be 0. That is called variable initialization. We have initialized a global variable, right? That's fine. And now you see, go back to the block that we have done before. That is when ball 1 dot collides with ball 2. This is what, when ball 1 dot collides with ball 2, no, whenever your ball 1 collides with paddle. Here we have a block. Whenever ball 1 collides with paddle, what I wanted, I want that I should get score. Let's give 5 marks. Okay, so to give 5 marks, what I will do, I will set that variable first. I will set that variable, and I will say that set variable global variable. Okay, which global variable? Score. And I will set it to, let me zoom a bit, it will be easy for you to see. Yeah, and we will set it that it will be equal to we will go to math block, and I will say add 2 numbers. What are the number? The number which is initially there, there was 0 value, so we'll say get that value 0. I think it is 0, a score, plus 5. So how to add plus 5? We need a math block to add 5. So the 5 marks will be added to it. Okay, and now what will happen now is, whenever ball 1 will collide with paddle, in this variable the number will be updated. What number will be updated? Suppose initially you have 0 score, and now the 5 will be added. So in your variable you will have now 5 marks. Okay, this is how to be done. And next is to display this number on the your label. So to display this on the label, we will go to the score, that's a label, and we will drag this block. This is called score, set a score dot text. So this is what we will set the text here, score dot text to. So what we'll write, we'll go to variable, and we will drag that value, whatever was what you can say added there. So we'll write, and we'll say get global score. So now you see, this much we have done, and that's very simple and easy. Let me quickly go through. what I have done this time I'm updating the score. Sorry, I'm updating the score. In that, uh, I have written code that if the ball will touch the paddle, you add the 5 marks and display the same on the level. This is what I've done. So similar things can be done with all the other blocks. So just quickly let me copy this and paste with other blocks also. So same thing we can do with the ball 2. So whenever your ball 2 will hit the paddle, your score will be updated. Your score will be updated. Same thing can be done with ball 3 also. So let's see if the ball 3 will collide with the paddle. You are supposed to get 5 marks and the same will be updated in the screen. And now let's do with ball 4 also. The same thing I'm going to do with the ball 4. I hope you understood the concept behind. I took one variable. In that variable, I'm adding the numbers and the same, variable I'm displaying in the screen. That's it. Okay. Let's do the similar thing with ball 5 also. It is left, I think. Somewhere is ball 5. Let me see where ball 5 is left. Ball 1 done, ball 2, ball 3 done. And okay, and ball 4 and ball 5 is here just next to it. So let me do with the ball 5 also. Yeah, this is done. So far we have done fantastic job that we are getting a score also. Further changes you can make, dear, let me say you can make the further changes also. I will give you final code which will have more changes also. Let's keep this much. So far what we are doing, you are okay. So far what we have done is we have set the program that when ball will hit the paddle, the ball is going to invisible and you will get a positive score. And when the ball will hit the edge, you missed it with the paddle, you will not get a score and the ball will come back again. One more feature we wanted, that is of play and pause. So if you wanted to pause your game, how you can do it? Okay, so to do so, let's go to the pause button and I will say that whenever pause dot click, whenever you click this button, I want that entire event should stop. So in order to do so, we will set that a speed first. Whenever I'll click that button, first we will set its speed, ball speed, So let's set the ball one speed first, and I will set the speed to 0. So you will see what is going to happen. Your ball is not going to move at all. No, your ball will not move whenever you click the pause button. And likewise, you can do with the ball 2 and ball 3 and ball 4 and ball 5. Okay, and now each speed of the all ball will be 0, so no balls will move because I have clicked the pause button. So whenever you click pause button, the ball's speed will become 0, as well as your clock clock will become disabled. So that's very important, the clock event will be disabled. So what I'll do, I will go to the clock one and I will say that disable this clock. Okay, so how to do it? We will say clock one dot timer. Let me delete this. Okay, so clock one dot timer enabled, we will make to false, so the timer will get disabled and we will be able to stop that game. So I'll write timer dot enable to false. So did you see now? With the timer is disabled. This is what I wanted. And now the opposite to it we will do. Whenever we'll click the play button again, whenever I'll click the play button, what should happen then? A speed, let's set the speed to its maximum. I think you had kept 25. So we'll give the speed 25, 25, 25, 25. And this is true. So the timer will get enabled and your the game will get a start. Okay, game will be started. So this is what we have added so far. I hope you understood this entire event. One more thing, you can add it. that game over. So whenever, if you miss the 10 balls, the game will get over. That functionality, you can add it. That's on you, and see how can be done. I will send you the that block for that also. In case if you tried and it did not work, I will already share this with you all so that you will be able to do it. So we have finished this app. I have tested it. It's completely all right. You can test it, and if you will have any error, just let me know. I will help you out.